Best Buy is a consumer electronics retailer that opened in 1966. Thank you for your suggestions.
It is the newest.
Even newer. Everything else is obsolete.
I just bought this one! What the? 3D.
Oh, wait. Oh, 4D TV? Stupid.
You got the wrong TV, silly head.
The new buyback program. You buy it now, we buy it back when the new thing comes out.
In 1966, Richard Schulze and a partner established Sound of Music, Inc. and opened their first store in St. Paul, Minnesota. They attempted to capture a share of the Twin Cities home and car stereo retail market. First year sales reached $173,000. 4 years later, Schulze bought out his partner and proceeded to expand his retail chain. His product line, however, was limited to audio components until the early 1980s. By the time Schulze bought out his partner, Sound of Music had 3 stores. By 1978, Sound of Music operated 9 stores throughout Minnesota. In 1981, Roseville, Minnesota was hit by a tornado. The tornado had caused extensive damage, 83 people were injured, and 1 person was killed. In 1981, the Sound of Music location, at the time the largest and most profitable Sound of Music store, was in the path of that tornado. The store's roof was sheared off and the showroom destroyed, but the storeroom was left intact. In response, Schulze decided to have a tornado sale of damaged and excess stock in the damaged store's parking lot. He poured the remainder of his marketing budget into advertising the sale, promising best buys on everything. Sound of Music made more money during that 4-day sale than it did in a typical month. Schulze had come to realize that there wasn't much of a future in a market glutted with vendors, serving a shrinking audience of 15 to 18-year-olds with limited resources. He figured selling only audio components in an ever-changing market wasn't going to sustain growth in his business. His ability to alter the course of his company was enhanced by a week-long management seminar he attended in 1981. Departing the seminar as a reformed controller, Schulze saw the dynamic possibilities that lay ahead and turned them into a reality. His first step was to expand Sound of Music's offerings to include appliances and VCRs. Schulze saw sales climb quickly. In 1982, revenues reached $9.3 million. In 1983, with 7 stores and $10 million in annual sales, Sound of Music was renamed Best Buy Company, Inc. Later that year, Best Buy opened its first superstore in Burnsville, Minnesota. The Burnsville location featured a high-volume, low-price business model, which was borrowed partially from Schulze's tornado sale in 1981. In its first year, the Burnsville store outperformed all other Best Buy stores combined. Best Buy would go on to be a huge multinational consumer electronics retailer, outliving their competitors such as Silo, Circuit City, Fry's Electronics, and The Good Guys. The demise of these stores have left Best Buy one of the last ones standing, but that is for another video. And that video is today. In 1983, the company renamed itself Best Buy Company and firmly oriented itself toward an older, broader, and more affluent customer base. In 1984, Schulze took another major step by introducing the Superstore format, and quickly he captured 42% of the local market. At the time, the company operated just 8 stores in the Midwest. but by 1987, this number had tripled, while sales and earnings had spiraled upward to $239 million and $7.7 million, respectively. In addition to greatly expanded warehouse size and product offerings, the superstore format meant significantly smaller margins to maintain its good service, low price image. Best Buy was taken public in 1985, raising $8 million through an IPO, and 2 years later gained a listing on the New York Stock Exchange. Although sales had practically doubled to $439 million in 1988, net earnings had declined by 64%. Best Buy was in a price and location war with Detroit-based appliance chain Highland Superstores. Rumor had it that Best Buy limped into the fall of 1988. Schulze tried to sell his company to Sears and failed because of his demands for certain perks. Schulze would later deny it. The unveiling of Best Buy's first Concept 2 stores in 1989 was the culmination of a daring new advance by Schulze. The revamped Best Buy stores would feature well-stocked showrooms averaging about 36,000 square feet, fewer salespeople, more self-help product information, answer centers for those requiring personal assistance, and one-stop purchasing. Stores without commission sales help now were able to operate at 2/3 of the workforce required in the past. From 1992 to 1993, Best Buy reported the best financial performance in the company's 27-year history. In addition to its stunning increases in revenues and earnings, the fast-growing retailer opened 38 new stores and saw comparable store sales increase by 19%. In 1993, Best Buy would begin expanding, opening in Chicago to solidify its leadership position in the Midwest, and entered the key Circuit City markets of Atlanta and Phoenix with an additional 13 stores. Numerous other openings included a small number of megastores, 40 to 50,000 square foot stores, emphasizing the growth lines of pre-recorded music and computers, brought Best Buy's tally to 151 stores by 1993. By 1994, Best Buy's largest competitor was Circuit City. Competition with Circuit City would remain fierce, with Best Buy challenging its arch-rival by entering its traditional strongholds in California, Washington, D.C., and Ohio. The head-on clash prompted renewed price wars, which Best Buy was positioned to withstand because of its low-cost structure. Lowered prices, however, meant lower earnings for Best Buy. The company's strategy of cutting service to help offer lower prices continued to cost the company's suppliers. By 1995, the electronics manufacturer Hitachi had stopped supplying Best Buy, as had the appliance maker Kenwood. In addition, Whirlpool pulled its top-line Whirlpool brand from the stores, although it continued to supply its lower-priced Roper brand. Despite these problems, Best Buy continued to broaden its territory and bolster market share. In 1995, the company added 47 new stores and moved into new areas, including Miami and Cincinnati. By late 1995, Best Buy was breathing down the neck of Circuit City in terms of market share. By 1998, the Concept 4 format debuted, featuring more high-tech products, merchandise grouped in such departments as home theater, cash registers throughout the store, and high-touch areas for digital products where more employee interaction was needed. These high-touch areas were added to the stores to help sell the large array of digital consumer products, such as cameras, cellular phones, satellite systems, and the fast-selling DVD player, which was first introduced in 1996, for which customers often needed more assistance. In March of 1998, Best Buy officially entered the e-commerce realm by launching an online music store at its BestBuy.com website. By the year 2000, there were 357 locations, with profits of $347 million on sales of $12.5 billion. Over the next 2 years, Best Buy would purchase Magnolia Hi-Fi Inc., Musicland Stores Corporation, and Future Shop Limited, for a combined $880 million. As the Best Buy chain pushed past its 500 store mark in 2003 with the opening of 67 new stores in the US, including the first stores in Alaska, Idaho, Utah, and West Virginia, the situation at the Musicland chains was starting to deteriorate, so much so that in June of 2003, Best Buy divested itself of Musicland in a deal with Sun Capital Partners, under which Sun Capital received all of Musicland's stock and debt. Best Buy had bought Minneapolis-based Geek Squad Inc. in October of 2002 for about $3 million. In November of 2003, the Best Buy chain opened its 600th U.S. store during a fiscal year in which 78 new Best Buys made their debut. By 2004, Best Buy launched its Reward Zone loyalty cards and began rolling out Geek Squad precincts at the retail locations. In March of 2008, the company began promoting the Blu-ray optical disc format over the HD DVD format, a move which ultimately contributed to Toshiba's decision to drop HD DVDs. In September of 2008, Best Buy became the first third-party retail seller of Apple's iPhone. Later that month, the company agreed to acquire Napster for $121 million. On March 28, 2015, Best Buy announced the shutdown of the Future Shop chain in Canada. By 2016, Best Buy operated 1,026 Best Buys, 331 Best Buy Mobile standalone stores, and 28 standalone Pacific Sales stores in the U.S. On March 1, 2018, the company announced that it would shut down its 250 standalone Best Buy Mobile stores in the U.S. due to low revenue and high costs. 2 months later, the company unveiled the new logo. In July, Best Buy pulled most CDs from its stores due to CD sales which had been dropping rapidly for years. One reason for the ongoing decrease in sales was the rise in music streaming and digital media, with products like CDs becoming obsolete and other products being sold for lower prices online. Today, Best Buy has around 1,047 stores in the US, but I've noticed stores are closing. What do you think? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. So what do you remember about this place? Leave a comment or a suggestion for a future video below. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.